GOP lawmakers in the state of Wisconsin have been fighting for months to prematurely end unemployment benefits for unemployed people in the state. However, they're now calling for a specific exception. Individuals who refuse to get vaccinated should be able to collect unemployment benefits. Now, this is a proposal by Republican lawmakers in the state legislature, and it's unlikely to really go anywhere because the governor of Wisconsin has already said that he will veto it. But here are the details. Wisconsin GOP lawmakers are circulating a bill that would allow people who lose their jobs because they refuse to get that COVID-19 vaccination to collect unemployment benefits. The governor, Tony Evers, told the Milwaukee Journal Sentinel that he would veto the bill if it passes, but the GOP-controlled state legislature has been trying for months to block federal funds that increase the top unemployment payouts in the state from $370 to $670 a week, and fell just short of overriding Democratic Governor Tony Evers' veto of their bill to do just that in late July. Their argument is that the extra money is convincing people to stay home rather than look for work. So if you are an individual who has been laid off, if you work in the service industry and you're concerned about coronavirus, maybe you have some sort of health issue and you're terrified of the virus, you don't get to collect unemployment benefits, according to Republican lawmakers in that state. However, if you decide to be irresponsible, entitled, if you refuse to get the vaccine, which puts others at in harm's way, well, you should be rewarded for that in the form of unemployment benefits. It's kind of amazing.
Yeah, so the folks who got fired because of COVID did not have a choice. So hey, you worked at a restaurant, the restaurant's not open anymore, they fired you, you're in a world of trouble, you gotta pay the mortgage or the rent, etc. And Republicans say, I don't care about you. I just want you back in whatever miserable working conditions you were in before, and because I need my corporate donors to pay me, and I work for them. So shut up and go back to work and work for less than what we pay you in unemployment, because corporations rule this country and they're my masters and I'm their servant, okay? That's what they say. But when someone makes a choice, I don't wanna go back to work, man, because I don't wanna be vaccinated, I wanna spread the disease to everybody at work, I wanna endanger all my coworkers. And the company goes, well, no, okay, we can't let you do that. But not because of a humanitarian reason, by the way, because it'll hurt productivity. Then more people will be sick, and then they'll have to, maybe shut down parts of a factory or a warehouse or an office, etc. That is the one time Republicans defy corporations. And they go, no. If you're choosing to be an idiot, you're one of us. If you're choosing to endanger other people, you're one of us. Like if you care about no one else on planet Earth, I wanna pay you money.
Yep.
If you got fired without any fault of your own, screw you. I don't give a goddamn about you.
You're lazy.
You're lazy, you're a bum, right? Oh, you don't wanna work because you chose not to work, because you chose not to get vaccinated? You chose to put other people in danger? Then we love you and we wanna give you more money. That's who the Republican Party is. Look, you would all know that if the mainstream media did their job right. Like we wouldn't have to keep insisting and tell you the facts and like scream the facts at you. Everybody would know it if the mainstream media didn't fetishize 50-50. Well, I can't tell, right? No, I can tell, the Republicans are monsters.
They are, and I mean, you're seeing it play out in many of the red states where all sorts of disinformation continues to be spread by right-wing lawmakers. Hospital beds are full in places like Florida and Texas, for instance. People who need to go to the hospital for various procedures that are not related to COVID are being turned away as a result of overwhelmed hospitals. Here's a map showing just that. So the dark red, dark orange areas indicate where the hospital or the intensive care unit beds are nearly full. And
those are literally the most conservative areas in the whole country.
That's right.
Because they will not listen to logic or reason. And so, and they will not care about their fellow man if their life depended on it. And in this case, it literally does. They don't care about themselves or anyone around them. And the Republican Party goes, how can I reward you with cash for that?
And I also wanna just share a little snapshot of how COVID is impacting people in Wisconsin. So the state's COVID-19 case average is 1,104 new cases a day, up 40% from the week before, and an 11-fold increase from a month ago. And one way to prevent people from getting hospitalized and dying from this virus is to encourage them to get vaccinated. But instead, the Republican lawmakers in the state legislature in the state have decided to offer rewards. You don't want to get vaccinated, you want to stay at home, you want to get fired from your job because you refuse to get vaccinated, we'll give you unemployment. But everyone else, regardless of their situation, they don't deserve it. Okay.
Yeah, so by the way, of those, some percentage will of course die, and almost everyone dying is unvaccinated. And instead of discouraging that, Republicans are literally trying to encourage that. So look, I don't want to insult the voters too much, but you're choosing to be, let's put it this way, in the party that celebrates ignorance and harming other people for your own selfish reasons. But in this case, at a bare minimum, can you just own your hashtag freedom? We're giving you the freedom. Nobody's making you take the vaccine, right? And nobody's making you wear a mask. But you can't say, I don't want to do either one of those things, and I want to go endanger other people at work. Well, They didn't choose that. So they're saying, no, I don't want you to endanger me. So, okay, that's fine, you made your choice, that's your freedom. But then don't come crying to us and say, now I want money. No, you chose to get fired. You don't get to say, then I want money for this. And by the way, don't give it to the guy who got fired without having a choice. Oh, come on, man, bounds of reason, but they don't have any bounds of reason because they don't believe in reason.
And remember, there are exemptions for religious reasons. So there are already loopholes that people can take advantage of, but it's not good enough. If you want to be difficult and you want to refuse the vaccine, again, according to these Republican lawmakers, you're the good guy. And look, they're pandering to them as well, right? Because this is a political move more than anything else. They're rewarding the behavior because they know doing so panders to right-wing voters that they're trying to cater to. That's what this is all about. Doesn't matter how many people are gonna die. This is just a calculation. It's a very clear calculation based on political aspirations and self-preservation for these lawmakers. That's it.
Thanks for watching The Young Turks. Really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.